Hello, my name is Barbara Thompson, and I'm recording the Getting to Know You speech for oral communications. And I'm 49 years old, and I'm married with 3 children and 1 grandchild. I live in a small town in western Arkansas called Mena, and I'm a bookkeeper for a clothing consignment store. I'm completing my major in psychology here at CCU. In fact, this is the beginning of my last semester. I should graduate in May with my bachelor's in psychology. And one of the questions that we needed to answer for this was, what was your best and your worst experience in public speaking? And for my best experience, I really can't say any one in particular, because I've had quite a bit of experience with public speaking. I was a teacher for many years at a small Christian school, and so I taught small groups, both younger children and older children, and I've taught Sunday school for many years and helped lead the worship at church. But my worst experience at public speaking, I will never forget, it was my 6th grade graduation. And I was one of the 3 that was called on to give a speech. And they had told me to write it out and be all prepared. And so I was the middle person to speak. And as I was reading my speech, I remembered that the teacher had told me, oh, you need to make eye contact with the audience. So I looked up and saw all those faces, and I froze. And my mind went totally blank. I could not remember a thing I was going to say. And then I looked down again, and I couldn't find my place. And it took me just a minute, and I remember the panic I felt. And I found my place, and then I read the rest of my speech really fast, and I went and sat down, and I was totally mortified, feeling like I'd made a total fool of myself. And I can still, to this day, almost 40 years later, remember how that felt. I just, that cringing panic that I felt. And the guy behind me gets up and starts into his speech, and he cracks a joke, and the audience is laughing, and I remember thinking, how did he do that? And how did I make such a fool of myself? And I still remember that as the worst experience I had ever had with public speaking. One of my goals for this class is to be more effective in communicating orally. I feel I do very well with written communications, with all of the papers I've written and all, and fairly well one-on-one, but I would like to be better at speaking more comfortably to large groups. The last question is, how do you think God can use your verbal and nonverbal communication skills to influence others? And I feel that if a person's life is surrendered to the Lord, He can use all of our skill sets, whether our communication, both verbal and nonverbal, because so much of our communication is nonverbal. In our gestures, our mannerisms, our attitudes that maybe come across and we don't realize it. But I'm encouraged by the story of Moses, who felt like he wasn't anything special and that he couldn't speak. He begged God to send somebody else, let anybody else do it, because he couldn't speak. He had a problem with that. But God used him in spite of his perceived weakness to do great things for him and communicate in such a way that he helped to deliver a nation from bondage. And so if God can use Moses, He can use any one of us. And I hope to sharpen those skills and let God use me more as time goes on. Thank you.